What is up, everybody? It is your local Ottawa fan. The Ottawa Charge win 4-2 against the Seattle Torrent. Sorry, 365 Hockey Girl, but I don't feel bad. Oh, that was invigorating. If you were at the game like I was, it's an instant classic. It's not season 1. There weren't that many games. Like, even we had some wins, but not that many where I'm like, oh, that was a great one. That was an instant classic. And now we're just banger after banger after banger. Oh, what a game. What a game, eh? Right before the Olympics, this is the kind of performance you want to see. And the league, I liked what the league did. Now, when every team plays and you're in such a small league, obviously it's good and bad. Because on the one hand, some of the teams that you don't want to get points are inherently going to get points, but also half the league is going to not get 3 points. If you can get a 3-point win, you know that half the league is also going to have another game played, and they are not going to get as many points as you just got. At least. Because yes, Boston and New York, yes, they both got a point, but neither of them got 3. So if you think about it, we actually gained ground on 5 teams. 5. Toronto, Boston, New York, Vancouver, and of course, Seattle. And those are pivotal. I want to talk about the standings first, because when all these games are being played all at once, it, paints kind of a picture. First off, Toronto continues to struggle. They have the same amount of wins as the Scepters this season at 5. The Scepters have the same amount of wins as the Torrent at 5. Torrent have 2 less games played. So they have that. They're 1 point back of Toronto. I see Toronto when after the Olympics, I see them falling into last place. Now, of course, again, it's the PWHL. I said that first season, right? Toronto started their first season awful. They were putrid. I called them the first bad team in PWHL history, and that aged like milk. Immediately, they just boom, rack off 11 wins, finish first in the league, make the playoffs, and they're Toronto in the playoffs, so they lost in the first round, of course. But nonetheless, they were not the first bad team. I'd argue it was either Ottawa or New York. Was the first, probably New York. I think it was New York was the first bad PWHL team. But now we're halfway through the season. More than half for most teams. But halfway through the season. Toronto's not looking that good. And right now we are in 5th. We still aren't quite in a playoff spot. We are 2 points back of a playoff spot. Now that's 1 win. Right? We're in a good spot. We are 1 win out of the playoffs. Can't be too mad at that. There are 14 games left. There's so much season left. Toronto still has a lot of season. They still have a lot of runway. They are 7 points back of a playoff spot and 5 points back of us. They're 2 games behind us. Them losing to Montreal and us winning, that's a bit of breathing room. Not a lot, but that's 2 wins. That's 2 wins that we have over them. Obviously, with the Torrent, we've got the full 6 on them. Now, they've got 2 games in hand, but that's perfect. Now, even if they win their next 2 in regulation, at best, they're tied with us. Vancouver, same amount of games played. We are now a full 3 points ahead of them. Like, all those teams, you want to have a bit of breathing room, or at least be the full 3. At least be a full 3, because that's the thing. With us in New York, if we win and they lose, and both of those things happen in regulation, that's it. We pull ahead of them. Like with Vancouver, if they win in regulation and we lose in regulation, it still goes to the tiebreaker, right? It's still the same amount of points. This is breathing room. Now, obviously, it would be nice to get some more regulation wins, but here's a fun little stat for you. We are tied with the Frost for the second most wins. The Fleet and the Victoire both have 10. We have 9. We have 9 wins through 16 games. Now, I think what's held us back is all of our losses have been in regulation. That, certainly doesn't help when you never get the loser point. And or a bit more than half of our wins have come in overtime. Again, it's losing points here and there. But you remember the first season? The constant losing in overtime? How, oh man, if you could have just won a few of those, if just a few of those, you got that extra point, could have made all the difference in us making or missing the playoffs. So that's a good thing to see. And we're winning games. Consistent. We have won a lot lately. We've won 9. Remember, our first 6, we only had 1. In our last 10 games, Montreal is the only team that's beaten us. Only team. 8 out of 10. 8 wins out of 10 games. 2 losses, both came to Montreal. Every other team has faced us, lost to us. Faced us, lost to us. And to see teams that are chasing us, every team that was chasing us loses. And one of the teams that we're chasing, we gain ground on them. We gain serious ground. I'm happy with this result. All right, let's break the game down. The first period, we were, I think, the much better team in my opinion. I know at the end of the game, the stats seemed pretty even. Shots were 30-26. We're going to get to the second period. I thought that the better team won this game and that for a majority of the game, we were the better team. First period, 100%. It was a great first period. We just didn't score, but I thought we played much better than them. For every 1 chance they would get, we would get 2. I felt there was only 1 time where Seattle had some level of sustained pressure in our zone, sustained momentum. Other than that, for the most part, even when they had the puck, it wasn't for long. Even when they got a shot off, it didn't lead to anything else. And with us, it was the opposite. It felt like it was constant pressure. We were a pressure cooker. We would take a shot and then we would have a rebound, or we would at least get the puck back and continue the pressure. I thought we had a really good first period. Were there a few maybe missed calls that could have given us a power play? And maybe. I'm not going to complain about the reffing at this game. I know the boos were really loud. I feel like if we lost, reffing would have become a topic of conversation. I think they let a lot go both ways. And I do think, yes, in the second they made one particular call that really shifted things. If the call at the end of the game isn't called, then no matter what, we riot. But at the end of the day, we will soon find out, this game ends because Seattle takes just an abysmally timed penalty and we seal the deal on the power play. So, you know what? There was potentially some shenanigans. I don't really care right now. Maybe we could have had a power play in the first. I'm not that mad about it. It's a great start, but right at the end of the period, we get called for a penalty. So Seattle gets to start the second on the power play. And I'm worried about this because that's a good way for them not just to maybe take the lead, but to take the momentum away from us, to zap all of our life and then control the rest of the game. And our kills looking all right. They are definitely having a much better time, Seattle, being able to stay in our zone and sustain some pressure by virtue of being on the power play. And then Peyton Hemp happens. And that is getting called every time. At first there was a lot of booing. I saw the replay. That's 5. That's 5 in a game. Let's be real with ourselves. That's 5 in a game. If this is, I think, the mentality that every fan should use when we are saying, hey, would I be pissed? If you were a fan of the other team, or if this happened to your player, what would you be saying? And because look, I'll admit when Ottawa sometimes gets away with stuff, we get away with things sometimes, and I'm like, oh, well, that should have been a penalty, but I'm not going to complain. Oh, well, they're going to say that was a goal. Clear kicking motion. Whatever. if I was a Torrent fan and I saw that happen and it wasn't 5 in a game, that would probably be how I'm starting this video. About how the obvious game misconduct wasn't called. How can you not call that? How can you not see how that affects the game? This has to get called. It gets called. And it gives them a decent 5-on-3 before a full 5 minute, well, not a full 5 minute power play, but a full 5 minute power play with about a minute-ish of it being 5-on-3. And we kill off the 5-on-3, and we do a really good job of killing the major. And then with 30 seconds, well, 29 officially. Wow, I hope that number doesn't come back up. Peyton Hemp's number, the number of seconds left in her penalty, and Seattle scores. Nothing Phillips can do. Just a barrage of chances, and we're down 1. The good news is we don't give up. I felt the rest of the second we played pretty well. And this is where I say, like, yeah, you know, shots were, like, even at the end of the game. Like, we did end up having 4 more than them. But they were, like, behind us by a whole bunch. And they caught up exclusively because of that 5-minute power play. And then we ended up outshooting them by 4 for the rest of the game. I felt like even after that, we were still the better team. We made 2 pivotal mistakes. Both of them cost us. And overall, we were just the better team that game. That's why we won. So even in the second, I'm thinking, okay, like, not the best. And if that's the lone goal, I was thinking in the third period, intermission. In the third intermission between second and third, I was thinking, like, if we lose 1-0, what would I say? Would I complain about the refs? I don't think so. And the biggest thing I thought is, like, because irregardless, if the rest, even if the third period is a bunch of bad calls against us, and I was like, at the time, I was thinking, I don't think the refs are the big thing. Like, yes, it would be upsetting that Seattle hasn't been called for anything, and we get called for that. And Seattle did get a call in the second, and we did nothing with our power play anyways. So I was like, it's not really the refs. It's the offense for not scoring. We need to score. It's all season long. When we score, we win. And I know that's like, oh, well, no, duh. But literally, when we score more than once, we win the game. Straight up. No 3-2, 4-2, 5-3, 6-5 losses. No. If the Ottawa Charge score 2, they may as well have scored 20. When the Ottawa Charge get their second goal, go home. You've lost. The issue is it's a when they score their second goal. There are other teams where that's not the question. That's not the issue. The issue isn't if they're going to score 2 goals. The issue is, will their opponents score 4? And right out the gate, 2 minutes and 2 seconds in, Katarova takes the puck away. She shoots. She scores. She does not miss. She's having a heater of a season. It is a 1-1 game. It's all tied up, and just like that, again, look who's working. It's Ottawa. They're doing well. They got pressure, and then we have just one awful sequence. One awful shift. I mean, I think it bled into another shift, but we could not finish a pass to save our lives. To save our lives. We can't exit the zone. We can't enter the zone. I mean, entering the Seattle zone, we can barely even just get it past the center line. And it's not even like these are our forced errors. It's just us making mistakes, blowing tires, colliding into each other. In the second period, we collide into each other. Rebecca Leslie looks hurt, and I'm like, this is awful. She's having such a great season. We can't lose her. But it wasn't like this in the third. It was that times 100 because it kept happening, and Seattle gets the puck. They take it away, go down Main Street, they score. They score. Just like that, they take the lead back, and I'm like, it's deflating when you make 2 mistakes. That 5-minute penalty, and then just a brief series of unfortunate events, and both times you get burned. And again, we're down. And again, we need to dig ourselves out of a hole. And then it happens. The best. I said it the best line in the league. Wozniewicz to bobblehead knight Brianne Jenner to hometown hero Rebecca Leslie, who puts it home 2-2 on her bobblehead night. Brianne Jenner joins the 50-point club in her career. I need to take a pause right here. I need to go over Brianne Jenner's career statistics to put into context how good she's been. In her first season, in our first season, she was good. She got the most points on our team. 20 points in 24 games. That's good. 9 goals. 11 assists. Next season, last season, bit of a step back. Despite playing 4 games more, she got 5 points less. Only got 8 assists and 7 goals. At least her goal scoring was still, there. For 15 points. She's already at 15. It's been 16 games. She's got a whole other half of the season. She's on pace for close to 30. And she has 8 goals. 8. I mean, barring a complete collapse, she's going to beat her goal record probably by before the midway point of March. And she's already tied her point total from last season. She has tied her point total from last season. She's 5 points away from she's 6 points away, I should say. She's 6 points away from her most points in a season. And my question isn't, is she going to do that? She will. My question is she going to do that before game 24? Is she going to do that early enough in the season where people will say, oh yeah, but in season 1 she played 24 games, and we'll be like, yeah, but it's game 22, so I don't know. I think it still counts. This woman is 34. You don't reinvent yourself and have the best season of your career at that age. That is when you should be winding down. You shouldn't be hitting your second prime. She's an MVP candidate. You look at the top point getters in this league, and okay, first off, look at the Minnesota Frost, just up and down. Frost. But it's the top 6 are all Frost or Charged players. And while, the top 4 are all Frost players, I also think that in a way that might be a double-edged sword in terms of crowning an MVP. Because when everyone on your team is the most valuable player, no one on your team is the most valuable player. You take Jenner off the Charge, we are like a 4-win team, at most. At most. You take Jenner off this team and her 15 points and the line of Jenner, Leslie, and Wozniewicz, you get rid of that, this team has 4 wins. This team is done for. Are you kidding me? So when I think in that sense of what player is the most valuable member of their team, Brianne Jenner is, in my opinion, right now that player. That player where she is the Ottawa Charge. I'll put it to you this way. If Schofield went down, got injured, I still think the Frost would be okay. You know what I mean? I think they'd weather the storm. The same with Curl, Heisey, or Paddock. If one of them went down with injury, I don't think that would end their season. Honestly, tell me, do you think the Charge would make the playoffs if Jenner got injured during the Olympics? Honestly, I don't think we would. I do not see a world where, if, God forbid, knock on wood, if Jenner got injured in the Olympics, that's the season. That's it. We aren't going to make the playoffs. If Schofield gets injured during the Olympics, knock on wood, hope it doesn't happen. But if it does, I don't think Frost fans would be like, our season is over. It definitely puts them in a tough spot. It's definitely concerning. Their season isn't over. Our season's over without Jenner, and it's also over with who should be an Olympian, Leslie, who scores. her 7th goal this season. Don't worry, she's about to follow it up because after this, the momentum sustained. And what did I tell you? What did I tell you was coming? Let me. Megan Carter, you want us to win? Awful penalty to take. Horrendous. I would be seeing red if I was 365 hockey girl. I would be seeing red. What are you doing that late in the game when you are desperate for points to try to claw out of the basement? And a mind-bogglingly bad penalty, a blatant cross-check to Katarova puts us on the power play. Leslie lights the lamp again. 3-2 with 29 seconds. There's that number again. 29 seconds left. We don't even finish the game like that. Clark, who has an assist on the game winner, decides to get the insurance goal. This is not on an... I need to emphasize, this is not on an empty net. You know, oftentimes you see that, right? A late goal is scored, and now it's a 3-2 game, and there's 30 seconds left. In desperation, you pull the goalie. Maybe you can get something in the last 30 seconds. Clark. So no, we got the puck. We were content to just keep the puck in their end and burn the clock. And like Clark said, or we can just make it a 4-2 game and score our 4th goal of the 3rd period and then go to the Olympic break. I mean, what? After the game against Montreal and then this, it was like nice to see just one period where bang, 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 4 goals, 1 period. That I should have done more research. Is that our best period? 4 goals, none on the empty net? 4 goals in a period to put the game away. And there you go. Another player I got to shout out is Hughes, who is now 3rd on the team in points. Quietly, actually, still producing quite consistently. Like, you know, I think her not scoring has certainly made us like, oh, where's Hughes? She's got like, 7 assists? That's decent. But of course, you cannot talk about a player who's silently become elite. Rebecca Leslie, the game winner is her 8th goal. She is now a top 5 goal scorer in this league. And it's a 3-way tie for 3rd. She's in that 3-way tie. She's a goal away from being undisputedly a top 3 goal scorer in this league. You can take the girl out of Ottawa. You can't take Ottawa out of the girl. And she comes back home and has, since the playoffs, been a hero for this team. Been lighting the lamp consistently. Is on an amazing line. Never a bad shift out of her. Even in our bad games, never a bad shift out of her. She has become my favorite. I gotta admit, she's my favorite player. She's my favorite player. Because she never misses a shift. She loves this team. She loves this city. She's from here, and she means it, and she gives it her all. She should be in the Olympics. She should be in the Olympics. I'm upset that she's not. And next Olympics, she will be. She deserves to be in the Olympics. I don't want to name names, but there are players on the Team Canada roster that she could replace. In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. And if we want to make this team younger, if we want to beat the Americans, she should be on that roster. But you know what? If we want to beat every other team in the PWHL, I'm glad she's on our roster. This is how you send a team into the break. And now, well, now we go from go Ottawa, go to go Canada, go mode. Look, you can complain about how the Americans are so much better than us. At the end of the day, the beauty of the Olympics is it'll come down to one game. If we barely get to the gold medal game, and in the round robin, America smacks us around 10-2, and we win 3-2 in overtime, womp womp, gold medal. So let's lock in Canada. Don't get injured, though. Please don't get injured. Nobody get injured. We got a wild ride ahead of us. And as always, go, Ottawa. Go!